All right, up here in the top right is our Terran player who's at 1 and 2 right now. He might be feeling a little discouraged.
I am happy.
Well, that's kind of mean of the announcer to be happy that he's discouraged. There he is, very strong player. And here is the man who helped pioneer esports as it is today.
Slayer's Boxer.
There's Boxer, man. He feeds off the souls of the fans.
Boxer.
So many fans here cheering for him right now. And in fact, Boxer does so well in foreign events, and I think part of the reason is he gets this huge amount of energy from his fans.
Yeah, he feeds off that. He definitely does, and that's one of the reasons why I'm a fan of him, is because he's a consummate showman, loves to please the fans more than anything else.
He really does. Well, both players have not taken gas yet. We've hit 14 supply. We may be having one rack expands from both players.
By the way, for those of you that don't know about the origin of Boxer's name, he actually just basically wanted to come up with something that sounded cool, something that sounded badass. He's like, well, Slayers, like people that slay, they're cool, right? They're hardcore. And a boxer, someone who hits something, like he just basically was like came up with something that he thought sounded good. And of course, you know, he's not a native English speaker, so. Oh, look at that.
Slayers Boxer's win rate versus IM players is 0 and 8.
Oh, jeez. Anyways,
struggling with Incredible Miracle.
Yeah. So the Slayers word, that name was just kind of something he just kind of came up with randomly, and then later on when he started his own team, he's like, oh, well, I guess it's kind of obvious what my team name is going to be, so.
Yep. A lot of people assumed that there was some team connotation behind it for a long time, but there was not. So the name was so appropriate for him to use as his team name. Now both players have started Commanders at their naturals, neither making it inside the main. As far as scouting goes, Happy has actually been able to scout a little bit of what's going on, but he wasn't able to. He was able to see no gases, but it's not 100% certain that his opponent's making commands, so he doesn't know, but he can assume that. And Boxer is not scouted at all, but he's trying to patrol a Marine to continue to deny scouting of his opponent. Right now, Happy's actually going to move across the map with 2 Marines and an SCV. So he actually will be able to break past that first Marine most likely and see the command center.
Whoa! Boxer is making 3 more barracks, and Happy just made a 3rd command center. Happy just started a 3rd command center, so this is going to be interesting to see how this goes down. Happy does scout that 2nd command center of Boxer, pretty obvious, but he wanted to make sure of it. But wow, this is going to be an interesting situation. Boxer is going to have to try and put some pressure on here. He's got a lot of barracks. He's going to be able to put out a lot of forces. And Happy's going to have to defend, but if he defends, he's going to have a major econ advantage.
You're exactly right. We'll see. Now Happy's starting to add his barracks here. And this is so weird. This is so gasless.
Yeah,
what's happening in
this is really weird. And I mean, it makes sense. It's kind of like the equivalent of going, you know, 1 Rax expand versus a tech build. They both went 1 Rax expand, so again, he's getting a little bit step ahead greedy. He knew they were both expanding, and he's like, well, I'm going to expand again then, since there's just as much risk as if I was expanding and you weren't. And
Boxer is going to put on a lot of pressure here, though. The Marine count right now 11-6, and Boxer with 4 Marines being made at a time here. If he gets any lead here before a bunker gets up, the rallying Marines may just be able to end the game, and at the very least kill SCVs. Oh,
look at that! He's going to hide some. Going to try and trade, but he's baiting him into the trap. Up the ramp to their deaths.
Yep. Happy really botching his control there on the watchtower. You should wait until the Marines approach before you leave the line of sight blocker, and Boxer's going to catch another Marine here.
Nice. Oh, maybe even another one. That one is dead. Look at that, pulling some of the injured Marines back as he goes up the ramp.
If the bunker isn't done, he's at the very least going to lose a lot of SCVs.
Boxer has a ton of SCVs. I'm sorry, a ton of Marines here. He's killing off the SCVs as they go to buffer. Nice control by both players, though. Happy is actually doing some damage. Happy has completed his barracks as well, so with this bunker, I think Happy is going to hold.
Yeah, but the worker count is now 33-26, but Happy has 3 commanders, and that's something Boxer does not know.
Yep.
So that worker count deficit that he's in right now is going to be closed very quickly, and with 3 mules being able to be used at a time, he should very quickly catch up. Both players at the factory at the same time. Happy only down right now in workers, but in every other regard, he actually is ahead.
I almost want to see Boxer pull his Marines around the back of that expansion and start killing more SCVs or something like that. Because
he may do that.
Because he may. I mean, I feel like that's something that he might do. But if he doesn't, then it's going to be tough for him to use this. And there he goes, trying to go around the bunker, so he can't use the bunker to his advantage. Exactly what we were thinking. Yep. And he needs to do this because otherwise he's just going to fall behind. Beautiful. Beautiful. Using that Marine advantage. Here he comes. Happy's trying to stop him, though. Going back between the minerals. Beautiful micro by Boxer. Taking out tons of opponents' units. And eventually Happy does hold it off, but he killed off a lot as a result. 15 SCVs ahead.
And now it's significant enough that even though he has the third command center.
And he scans. Did he see that third?
He did.
Yeah.
He did indeed see that third command center.
So Boxer knows what's up now.
He still has a decent Marine count right now. The Marine count 14 for Boxer, 9 of Happy. Both players with starports basically at even build times here.
Yeah, but Boxer has stim and combat shields going, and Happy does not.
Happy has +1, a little bit ahead of Boxer. But we'll see that Marine count is going to be so important, and having stim first could potentially end the game depending on how the first engagement goes for Boxer.
And combat shields is going to be more important than +1 anyway, I believe.
Yeah. Well, it depends on the situation, but with stim, stim is so important.
Stim is definitely more important.
Because Happy already has combat shields.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind then. That'll even them up, I suppose. But,
it all depends on how the engagement goes.
Yeah.
Any number of things.
No, you're right.
Occur.
You're completely right. But stim is now started for Happy. The question is Boxer going to make use of this timing here? He's actually getting a third base of his own, trying to use the fact that Happy's on the defensive to get his own third base up before Happy does. And the way the timing is going to work out, Boxer's going to be able to mine from his third a little bit before Happy is, even though Happy got that command center earlier.
Yep. Now, Boxer does not know that Happy's stim is so significantly behind. If he did know, he definitely would be pressuring right now. But since he does not know, he is not aware of this fact, it's going to be hard for him to pressure. If he knew what was up, he would definitely want to push at his opponent's third, but the command centers are landing at basically the exact same time. Boxer getting a slightly earlier lead with his mining, just like you said. And with how many workers he killed early on, it's 61 to 49 in Boxer's favor with his faster saturation. Double armories going down for Boxer. That means he wants to get a lot of upgrades out. Right now, he is starting siege tanks and siege mode. His opponent's doing the same and starting +2. But Boxer with double E-Bays is going to be at 1-1 against just +1 for Happy right now.
That one Marine is dancing around behind the line. Hey, I want a spot, I want a spot.
He's like Wilbur in Charlotte's Web in the movie. You remember that?
That's I haven't seen that movie in like 15 years or something like that.
Me too, but I remember that scene, man.
I'm sorry, I don't remember that one.
That Marine's name is Wilbur.
That double armory is interesting. I really am. That's kind of curious.
He hasn't used it yet either, which makes it even more curious.
And he's not really meching.
And he made them at the exact same time, so there's no reason to believe that he did it by accident. They were made right next to each other at the exact same time. I doubt he's going to get +1 plating for his medevacs, but anyway, we'll find out.
We'll see.
Both players adding additional factories right now. Boxer slightly ahead in that, and he's also ahead in his +2 armor, but his opponent's +2 weapons is slightly ahead too. So all of these timings, of course, will be noted if a battle occurs during this, but otherwise they're not too different from each other. Now Boxer's getting his +1 vehicle weapons.
Maybe he had 2 SCVs selected. Sometimes I'll hit like VA and slap it down, and then I'll decide I want to build it somewhere else, and so I'll hit it again.
He's getting
never mind. He's getting armor as well. Okay, so no mistake.
Armor not usually as useful in this matchup for these units, but when your opponent's going heavy Marine, I guess it could potentially make a large difference.
Yeah, if your tanks survive a little bit longer against the concentrated Marine fire, it can make a big difference.
Oh man, look at this. We are going to have a pretty big fight here. The Marine count 67 for Happy, 60 for Boxer. Happy does not have +2 yet, but it's getting closer.
That is true. And yeah, there's going to be a time where Happy has that +2.
Oh, Happy's going to avoid Boxer entirely. No, he decides not to. Boxer stims in.
He needs to target the tanks. He gets one. He gets the medevac. He gets the other tank. Boxer with a complete and other rout of Happy's forces has forced it back. Boxer.
Oh, man, this game may just end. Trappy cleans up everything.
That is the most massive pile of blood and guts I have ever seen. 60 or 70 Marines being slaughtered on both sides. So much blood on the ground on that ramp, and Boxer is the one who's wiping it off his shoes because he completely won that battle. 50 supply head right now.
Yeah, he did. Right now it's 178 to 127 to give you guys an impression of how much supply Boxer has in total and how spiraling out of control this game is about to be. +3 weapons are on the way for Happy. Boxer's 2-2 is about to finish, which will put him at 2-2 against 2-1 of his opponent.
Good scans. He's avoiding that tanks. He doesn't want to just stim into tank fire, but he's going around the side of it to get a better position. He's sieging up of his own. Boxer has so many more Marines. He's going in. Boxer has 2-2 as well with only 2-1 for Happy, and everything gets destroyed. Boxer just with such a huge advantage can clean up.
Oh my god, look at those Marine splits. It almost was like he knew which Marine the tank was going to target, and he split the units away from it.
Boxer is so amazing sometimes. When he is really on his game, he is an absolute genius.
Yeah, Happy overextending himself a little bit too much in the early stages of this game. Boxer's Marine production now significantly better, 13 to 9. Both players making 2 tanks, +2 on the way for Happy. The tanks of Boxer are at 1-1 though, so he does have +1 on his tanks for armor, whereas Happy does not have that. Here we go. Here's the stim, and the tanks are unsieged, and Boxer's going to tear through everything, targeting down siege tanks. The SCV is coming off the line, but it does not matter. Boxer's siege tanks siege up, and Happy is out of luck.
He is out of luck. He's out of SCVs. He is out of the game, and he is out of the up and down matches, ladies and gentlemen. A 1-3 score for Happy puts him in Code A next season. Boxer keeps himself alive with finally getting a win in this group, putting him at 1-2.
July and Supernova still the leaders of this group, though.
Yep.
You know what happens next is July plays against Creator. And if July wins that match, then he is Code S no matter what, and then the final match
the final match determines it.
Yep.
You're totally right.
Because otherwise it'll be Boxer against Supernova, and if Supernova loses, then it'll be a tie, and since he lost to Boxer, that's who he's tied with, he will not be in Code S, and if Boxer loses, then Supernova advances to Code S.
Yep.
If Creator
wins, he'll be 2-2 also.
Yeah, then we could potentially have a 3-way tie, but not necessarily.
And then if Boxer won, it would be a 3-way tie.
Yep.
Yeah. So
see how much simpler it is to assess the group when there's 5 less. I mean, 5 less games to play and 1 less player in the group.
That's right. Yeah. So, but first things first, man. July Zerg is going to be playing against Creator, who is not start with a P.
No, that does not. Starts with a C. I guess, like, if you look at the top of a P, it's got like a backwards C when it connects to the stem.
No, I'm sorry. Thank you for trying to bail me out of that one.
I don't know.
It's not bailable. No bail may be posted for that bad mistake.
No, I was gonna say. I mean, Happy has 2 P's, but that's not who we're talking about.
No. Creator Prime. Maybe I was thinking Prime. I don't know. Anyway,
I can't help you anymore.
It doesn't really matter.
No,
what letters are involved here. What matters is Creator and July Zerg.
Creator has to win on Crossfire against July. This will be, if I'm not mistaken, guys, the last time you'll ever see Crossfire played in this league. This will be the last time.
Don't say that, because then you'll jinx us into having some tiebreakers, and we'll see it there.
Well, this could potentially be... Because, listen, man, July should win with the crazy win rates for Zerg on this map versus Protoss. Although recently,
are the win rates actually that high, though?
It's about, I think it's about 56 for Zerg. So
well,
it's not as crazy as the Terran.
It's not crazy.
The Terran win rate on this map is 65. But anyway, consider... Recently, Zergs have been doing all-ins on this map, and Protoss has been holding, and the win rate has actually been going back towards the favor of Protoss. I mean, not towards the favor, but it's towards even. With all the holds, we saw a sick hold from Huck yesterday on this map. We've seen a lot of Nidus holds recently on this map. We've seen so many of those, actually.
Yeah. Poor Bumblebee.
Sometimes it's actually really embarrassing when you get forced into denies if your opponent scouts it. It's like, then you're like desperately trying to put denies down, but nothing can occur. So, anyway, we're going to be getting into this game fairly soon here. I'm really excited to see because this game is so important. If July wins the season, Code S no matter what.
Yeah. And actually, if he loses, he's in Code S no matter what, I think.
If he loses and Supernova wins against Boxer, then they're tied. And
no, because no one else in the group but Supernova can get 3 wins.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. Yeah, if he loses, he'll be tied with Supernova if he beats. If he loses and Supernova beats Boxer, then Supernova and July are tied. But July beats Supernova, so then he's still in anyways.
No, Creator, Happy, and Boxer each have 2 wins, which means they can get a maximum of 2. Each have 2 losses, which means they can have a maximum of 2 wins. So that means July Zerg cannot be tied by anyone but Supernova. Yep. So July Zerg is Code S.
July Zerg is already Code S, but he still has to play this game out. And if he loses this game, then we have potential tiebreakers, but if he does win it, then there's only 1 match left no matter what.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so that's actually, it's got to feel really good for July Zerg, man. Playing on a good map for him, playing a good matchup for him, playing with no real pressure.
It helps him save face a little bit for all the rumors that have been going around in Korea right now with how often he 6 pulls on the ladder and whether he's really training or if he's going to go to the military. Is, you know what, I 4-0'd the group. They may have been defending all-ins and doing some of my own all-ins, but you know what, I 4-0'd the group.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, people were kind of wondering the same thing about him when he got 2nd place in the GSL. You know, a lot of people sometimes kind of expect him to be falling out of things, falling out of favor, but he has a tendency of just coming back, man. I mean, he hadn't basically been a strong contender in a couple years, and he came back and won an OSL.
Yeah.
You know, in
he just pops
07,
back
09,
in, man. He just doesn't stop. All right, we're going to jump into our next game right now. It is July against Creator, as we've been discussing. Here are our players. Creator significantly younger than his opponent, who has so much experience. And he's playing on a tough map, so we'll see if he can hold this July Zerg back.
Yeah, July Zerg has so much experience, it's ridiculous. He has been doing this so long at such a high level. He can basically micro and macro and just have a game sense just on instinct. It's instinct for him now. If you've ever had anything that you've done all the time for 10 years, you know like how ingrained it is. You can just do it without thinking. That is where July Zerg is, but Creator, he can do well with thinking. We're going to find out if he can outthink the God of War in just a moment here at the GSL.
Listen to me, step up if you want to feel this